Rouhani talked a bit about some of the innovative interventions that our colleagues all around the world who have experience working under more restrictive laws than we may even see here have been able to implement in order to provide access to high quality, person-centered abortion care, even in restrictive legal settings.
Person-centered, hang on. Can we talk about the irony of calling it person-centered abortion care for like a second? What is wrong with these people? This is why, I mean, you can really tell from this, like, the left has really just lost their humanity. And again, this is why, listen, I am absolutely harder on the right than I am on the left on streams and on Twitter. But the reason that I'm harder on the right than I'm harder on the left is the right is literally allowing these people to win. The right, because of their lack of strategy, their lack of motivation, their lack of any sort of like engagement at all, is allowing these people with no humanity to win. They are allowing evil to win. And so who is actually more guilty? Who's more guilty? Is it the person who is evil? Or is it the group of people who know that this person is evil and who still sit back and allow the evil person to win? This is why I am so much harder on the right than I am on the left, because they are allowing this. And they're kicking back their feet and saying, well, nothing we can do. Oh, I mean, I just can't be bothered to plan a rally or to write an email and just, I just don't want to engage in conflict. And like, it is infuriating. It is infuriating. The amount of complaining and whining and protestations and the amount of people that come into my feed every single day insulting me and insulting other people who are trying to tell them the truth, who are trying to say, here is what you need to do to beat the left. And they go, leftist! You were never on the right! And they spend more time insulting me than they do fighting back against the absolute evil that is these people. And then when they're not insulting me, what they're doing is getting in the way and making problems when I am trying to do the thing that they refuse to do. It's infuriating. These people are evil. This woman is evil. She has evil demonic energy. The left has very literally taken humanity away from all of us across a multitude of different issues. But we can't fight back against them effectively because the right fucking refuses. It is mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling.
One way.
I want to speak to something Captain Phoenix says, and listen, I'm not actually questioning what Captain Phoenix is saying. What Captain Phoenix is saying is fine. He said this is false. Restrictions in general are not going to get more severe. They're going to get a lot more lax in blue states and largely remain unchanged in red states. I don't think that's true. I think red states are absolutely going to try to ban abortion now that they know there's benefit to doing it. But the point I actually want to make here is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter that abortion will still be available in this country. It doesn't matter that it will still be available in blue states. From the perspective of what are the implications of this from a political reality, and how are human beings going to respond in this situation? So it does not matter to people on the left that abortion will still be illegal. Does not matter at all. Not to the people who are going to cause us problems for the next how, May, June, July, August, September, October, for the next 7 goddamn months. They don't care. Because again, what have we learned on happy hours? In happy hours, we have learned that the left is not about logic or reason or fairness or justice. They are only about power, and their goal is to destabilize the system. This is why conservatives are making this misstep. They think that critical race theory is about race. They think it's about being anti-white, again, because their influencers have lied to them and have behaved grossly irresponsibly. But critical race theory is not about race. It is only about power, and the reason they are implementing it is to destabilize the system. In the same way, all this abortion stuff is not actually about legal access to abortion. It's not about that at all. It is about gaining power and destabilizing the system. Once people start to realize that everything that the woke left does is about destabilizing the system and making life harder for the rest of us, and so that they can gain more power, that's when you start to look at things differently. That's when you start to really understand what's going on. This Roe shit and the riots and the protests that we're all about to experience until November is only about destabilizing the system so that they can gain more power. No amount of rational conversations about what this actually means is going to prevent that they are trying to destabilize the system so they can gain more power. And in this case, they will be successful. Yeah, I know you guys, and I'm not saying anything against you. I'm just I think you were making a good point, and I was using it. I was using you, Captain Phoenix, in order to expand on a broader point that I wanted to make. That's the lens that people need to be looking at this through, to understand how the left is going to react in this situation. Carlin, are you saying that the thing is psychology? Yes. In order to understand how the left is going to react in this situation, you have to understand what their motivations are. Their motivations are to gain as much power as possible, gain as much political power as possible, so that they can destabilize the system, so that they can destroy capitalism, so they can usher in a little Marxist utopia. We see this happening this is why people need to come to happy hours on Fridays, man, on my second channel. The link is down in the description somewhere. Because when you come to happy hour and you watch these woke trainings, you are going to see this so clearly. In every single woke training, whether it be about gender or race or being fat or trans stuff, in every single one of the trainings that we watch for happy hour, and people in the chat who come to happy hour can corroborate this, they always talk about destroying capitalism. They always talk about capitalism as the enemy. Every single time. That's what the goal is. And the left will use absolutely every single thing that they can use to their political advantage to gain more power, to destabilize the system, so that they can attack capitalism, so that they can ultimately build their little Marxist utopia. That is the goal. That's the goal. Every tactic that you see the left use, from protesting to Antifa to BLM to introducing crazy bills in Congress to trying to pack the Supreme Court to leaking the Roe versus Wade thing, every single strategy that you see the left trying to use is only and clearly about gaining more power by destabilizing the system so they can attack capitalism, so they can usher in their little Marxist utopia. That's what you need to be looking for in every strategy, in every presentation, in every comment. Everything. That's what it's about.
And then I think, reproductive justice organizations across the country who are really working to build towards a post-Roe future that is more equitable and more founded in
a post-Roe future
framework, not just a framework of choice, is also a really great way to.
So this should tell you, she just said a post-Roe future. And this presentation was given yesterday. Okay, so they are aware that the Supreme Court decision is coming down. They are aware it's not going to be on their side. But what I want you to really hear in what she's telling you is that they're already planning for this. They're already planning for this. This is why I've been really harping on the idea that this is not going to reduce abortion. The right thinks it will because they've been lied to by their influencers. This is not going to reduce abortion at all. They are already planning for this. They already have systems in place. They've already thought through what's going to happen. They've probably been working on this they've probably been working on this for years, but minimally, because they probably saw the writing on the wall, honestly, once Donald Trump got a few Supreme Court justices in, they were like, ah, fuck. And they knew they knew it was coming. And they've certainly been working on figuring this out since the Supreme Court case was heard. But what people really need to hear is that the left is already figuring this shit out. They are probably 18 steps ahead of where the right is. And again, the right's going to pack up and go home and be like, all right, nothing more to do here. Roe v. Wade got repealed. I guess we're done. You guys really want less abortion. You're going to have to realize that the left is 15 steps ahead of you. They have been this entire time. You need to get out of the easy chairs and do something about it. And again, I'm someone that I actually don't really care on this issue. But if you want to beat them, then you need to do something about it. Ooh, Derek, update from Derek. New Hampshire update. Derek is going to be our New Hampshire correspondent. New Hampshire Democrats' special order bill that might open up the possibility of debate on an amendment codifying Roe v. Wade fails. House Majority Leader Jason Osborne calls the move grandstanding over the outrage du jour. Thank you for the update. New Hampshire correspondent, Derek. Yeah, even in New Hampshire with reasonable abortion laws, they're going after it because they have to. They have to. It's a political point for their audience. Brian says, yeah, the right has always been looking at a way to overturn Roe v. Wade. The timing is just really bad. Well, not only is the timing really bad, but here's the point, Brian. Overturning Roe v. Wade isn't going to do anything. It is not. Again, if the goal is less abortions, overturning Roe v. Wade isn't going to achieve that. Again, this is where their influence, like the conservative influencers have lied to their audience. They built this up, and I blame all of them. They built this up to be the most monumental thing that could ever happen in the history of ever. But the left has already planned for how to get around it. So it's actually not going to do anything. So all this hullabaloo, all this destruction, an absolute sabotage of every other initiative that we're trying to make progress on to beat back this cultural revolution. And I know you agree. I want to acknowledge. I know you agree. It's just like this is why I am so depressed and black-pilled over this issue. Because not only has it completely sabotaged work in like 75 other areas that are frankly much more important and impactful, it has done absolutely nothing in terms of achieving the goal that they claim to have. This is like business 101. You set the goal, and then you set strategies that will help you achieve the goal. And if those strategies do not help you achieve the goal, some strategies sound great. They sound amazing. Like back in the day, okay, so I worked at Dartmouth back in the day, and here was a marketing strategy at Dartmouth. And this was during a $1.3 billion fundraising campaign that I worked on at Dartmouth. And this was the big marketing strategy. Let's create a viral video. That was a big marketing strategy at Dartmouth. And a video was created, and it was actually a solid video. I'm sure we can actually still find the video. It was like a good, solid video. It was. Did it raise $1.3 billion though? No. Did it contribute much of anything towards raising $1.3 billion? No, because you don't raise $1.3 billion by creating a viral video. And this video got featured on YouTube's homepage when it was created. This was a long time ago. It's like 15 years ago or something. This was featured on YouTube's homepage. and it did nothing in terms of contributing to the goal. It looked great. It was an awesome video. It got featured on YouTube's homepage. That's pretty great. It got a whole metric F ton of views. That was pretty great. It got written up in all these things. All that sounds really great. But ultimately, the goal was to raise $1.3 billion, and it did not contribute towards that specific goal. Now, the $1.3 billion got raised in other ways. But the point is that you can do things that sound really great that don't actually accomplish anything.